Hello everyone, I'm your host Jasmine Phipps and welcome back to another exciting episode of Spilling Tea with a POC. If you missed my last episode, you already know what to do. Click off this, onto that, and then click back onto this one. Thank you. But for now, grab your tea and get ready to spill into today's episode. Oh, wait, hold on. Make sure that you're following the official Spilling Tea with a POC Instagram at Spilling Tea with a POC. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube, okay? Make sure that you're, because I am going to be posting other content other than these podcasts, and I just want to make sure that you're up to date on everything, and that you're, make sure that you support a Black creator. It's hard out here for a Black creator, Oh my gosh, my ear is killing me. Anyways. But for now, grab your tea and get ready to spill into today's episode. Today, we're going to be talking about the benefits of failure because I feel like in this generation, we don't embrace failure enough. And it's okay to fail. Let's normalize it. The perception of perfection is misleading, and we often think that we can erase the word failure rather than trying to embrace it. Some of the most successful people that we know have had some of the biggest failures. I mean, let's even just break it down to Michael Jordan, because y'all know how much I love Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't make it on his high school basketball team. Varsity basketball team. Let me clarify. Thomas Edison didn't make the light bulb right away. Thomas Edison made the light bulb, right? Thomas Edison light bulb. Yes, just making sure. just had to check my little. So today I'm going to talk about the 3 benefits and advantages of failure, and because not only have I experienced failure, but I've kind of learned how to embrace failure. And I kind of wrote a book about it. So as a young author, I wanted to publish my book before I graduated high school. Then on my dad's birthday. And then before I started college, none of those dates, I didn't publish that book on any of those dates. Because I don't think that, well, for one, I'm a Christian and I believe that God has this plan for everybody and he put everybody on this earth for a purpose. And so I just don't think it was the time. I don't think any of those times were the time for me to publish my book. I lost my grandma my first year in college, and I feel like that little success, me publishing my book before she passed, and she was able to read it before she passed, it kind of means a lot more than me publishing right after, I graduated high school, on my dad's birthday, or, right before I started college. I did publish the book before I turned 18. I ain't gonna lie to you. So that is one thing that I did successfully. But it's just there was a greater meaning, and it felt like, I don't know, it felt different and felt more relieving that I published not relieving, that's not the right word. It felt good to publish it right before. I didn't know my grandma was gonna pass, but at least she was able to read the book. So it felt very special to publish it at that time. So I didn't publish it on any of those dates, but I still published my book. I have found that the 3 major advantages of failure are that failure creates growth, failure motivates, and also failure leads to success. Without failure, you cannot succeed. Failure, and a lot of people don't understand, failure is all the little things you do wrong. So start fixing the little things. Take it one day at a time, and you will soon see success. I think that failure, can be a blessing in disguise. It creates growth. It allows you to see different points and views in your life by growing your thinking. According to Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich, he says, life reflects your own thoughts back to you. He also says that you become what you think about. So if you're not thinking positive, if you're not talking to yourself in a positive way, that's not good, because your brain is very powerful. And so your brain controls your whole body. So if you're sitting here telling yourself you cannot do this, you cannot do this, you can't do this, you can't do this, then your brain's going to be like, oh yeah, well, you told me that you can't do it, so I'm not going to make you be able to do it. Failure challenges us to learn new ways of doing things. According to Napoleon Hill in A Think and Grow Rich, he writes, the way of success is the way of continuous pursuit of knowledge. The most successful people are very, very wise because they've learned from their failures. They've learned from, the obstacles that they've had to overcome. They've learned that, you're not going to get everything right away. And 99% of the time, you're not going to get everything right away. And if you do, you were just lucky. I'm so sorry to break it to you, but you were just lucky, because nobody gets there in one single night. You're going to have to work. You're going to have to put in those countless hours. Like, for example, even with the social media stuff, I get frustrated a lot because I'm just like, why haven't I gone viral yet? Why can't I get that one video that just, helps boost my following? But I just have to wait, because there's always a timing for things. God has a timing for things. So you just got to wait until, your time. That doesn't mean now don't continue making those videos. Don't continue reading those books. Don't continue working out. Don't continue going to practice. Don't continue, studying for the LSAT. That doesn't mean don't do any of those things just because your time isn't now, but you have to work towards that in order to get to your time. Adapt to reality and use failure as motivation to see through to success. Failure should motivate you. It shouldn't shut you down. It shouldn't make you sad. It shouldn't, it should be like, oh wow, I'm this much closer to success. Sorry, I'm this much closer to success because I have failed. And also you have to adapt to reality. Like if this isn't working, you got to pivot. To my entrepreneurs, you got to pivot, and then you got to redefine your plan, and then go back and do your plan, execute the plan. You feel me? If you experience failure, then that means you are on the right track to success. And according to Napoleon Hill, and Think and Grow Rich, he states, you can think your way into or out of almost any circumstance, good or bad. So like I said, your brain is very, 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 very powerful. And if you don't allow yourself to understand that words matter, how you speak to yourself matters, it starts with your mindset. Even in the gym, even when you're working out, because I'm an athlete. I was going to say I was, but I am clearly, because if you didn't see my highlights for, what video? What was it? Powder Puff, then you should click off this and go watch my highlights. But, dang, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. 80% of all that is your mindset. You can go put in the work. That's only about 20%. That's only going to help you 20% of the way. But if you're not confident, if you don't have this like, okay, I can do this, I could do this, like attitude, then everything you're working for kind of means nothing, because you don't believe that you can do it. It starts with believing in yourself and then executing that. Because then every rep you do, every set you do, it's like, oh yeah, I got this. You feel me? Like I'm gonna give my all, 150% every single time. A famous quote by Samuel Smiles says, we learn wisdom from failure much more than we do success. We often discover what we'll do by finding out what we'll not do. And probably he who never made a mistake never made a discovery. Like I said, the most successful people that you look up to have failed. And if they haven't shown their failures, it's because people are not going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, I remember all the times Michael Jordan missed a shot. I remember all the times Kobe missed a shot. I remember all the times Usain Bolt didn't break. Well, I don't know about that, because I don't remember a time where he didn't break 9. Not break 9, break 10. But you want to know what the funny thing is though? When you are on the top, like even Sha'Carri Richardson, when she was on the top and then they found out she was smoking weed or whatever, everybody went from supporting her fully to hate. Like, oh yeah, and then she's back on the top. It's like you can't stay on the top forever, but you can always build yourself way back. You could always build up back to it. So either way, people are going to hate you. People are going to hate you if you're successful. People are going to hate you that you're, while you're on top, and then they see a little mistake that you make, they're going to hate you for it. But you just got to keep going, because eventually you will get to where you want to go. You got to take this thing as like a long-term, short-term thing. And also you got to put energy into things that matter. it's not, if this one thing that you're doing constantly is not working, do not continue putting energy into that and feeding that energy that you could be feeding to something else that's going to elevate you, you know? Michael Jordan won 6 NBA titles only after he was able to grow his body, grow his team, and grow his thinking. This visual aid showing sorry, I don't got the visual aid right here, but the Jordan rules was created after Jordan. He had to overcome the Jordan rules to get past the Detroit Pistons so that he could get to the finals. Everybody's, story of success has these different obstacles that they had to overcome to get to where they are today. It's just a lot of people aren't, educated in people's failures, because who cares about the failure at the end of the day if you succeed? I know I'm spitting a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how failure can motivate. The reason people become successful has always been because they didn't stop after failing, but they were motivated to persevere through their failures. Failure can motivate you to want more goals. Failure can motivate you to want more goals. Okay, boom, this isn't working. But I want to show people, I want to show myself that I can get through that. And then also I want to be the best person who ever did that. You feel me? Nobody likes failing at anything because it doesn't feel good to fail. Sometimes people get embarrassed when they fail because they didn't want to be seen as a failure. But if you stop now, you are a failure. I'm just going to keep it real. If you don't continue going, you are a failure. So you are becoming the thing you're scared of. So that's why it's so important to keep going. Whether you get it right away, because you never know, like the door to success could be right around the corner, but you stopped right where the wall was and didn't climb over it so you could see the door to success. Failure can motivate you to work harder and smarter. People who aren't prepared can fail. And that shows them that they have more work to do. But also, failure can show them what they need to do differently for the next time so that they can succeed. Failure shows you that you can do more than what you thought you were possible. Wait, no, sorry. I was trying to so you could cut it out. Hold on. Failure shows you could do more than what you thought was possible. Failure raises the bar. Failure makes things clear. Failure is a thing that pushes you to your limits. Because a lot of times, without failure, you never thought that you could push your body that hard. You never thought that you could, stay up those long nights that even when you were tired, you never thought you could push through. But failure kind of motivated you, because I don't want to be a failure. I don't want to be known as somebody who just didn't finish. Like for me, even though I be saying, I'm going to drop out of this college stuff because, bro, taking 19 units is crazy. And then on top of that, I'm creating content for not only myself, but the women's basketball team. And then I'm part of BSU. And then I still want to create fitness videos. And then I still got to eat at the end of the day. And life is just so hard. But don't nobody care about that. Don't nobody care about me whining about my life being hard. Because I know people have it way harder. That doesn't, dismiss how I feel in my life and my problems. However, everybody has a story. Everybody has, I don't know. The way I think about it is somebody was in the same position you were, but succeeded. So that means you can too. Failure motivates you to keep trying and not to quit. I know I'm not a quitter. I know it's not in my genes to quit. I know even though I really sometimes just really want to just quit, I can't. It's just not in my blood. It's not in my veins. I can't quit. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I really want to drop out of college, but I ain't going to do it because I can't. I'm not a quitter. I got to finish. I got to get that degree. Even though I already got a degree in psychology, even though it says Kiana's name on it, I got a degree already. But, I got to get this communications degree and this minor in entrepreneurship. And then I'm a dip. then I'm a dip. And I'm going to say this again. Failure is all the little things you do wrong. According to Napoleon Hill in To Think and to Grow Rich, he says, when defeat comes, accept it as a signal that your plans are not sound. Rebuild those plans and set sail once more towards your coveted goal. I love this because accept where you're at, fix the little things, and move forward. Don't sit in it for too long. You can give yourself a time frame where you could sit in it, cry about it, eat ice cream, sit on the couch, lay down, binge watch a show for a certain amount of time. But then after that time, you got to accept it and let it go. Because if you sit there for too long, life is going to keep going. Time keeps going whether you start now, later, in 10 years, or never. If you don't start living your life the way you want to live it, then you're never going to start living at all. You're just going to be the person who has said that they were going to do a whole bunch of things and never did them because I don't know why you didn't do them. You got to ask yourself that. The thing that kills me the most is that the graveyard is one of the richest places in the world because it sits on the dreams that people never went to go achieve, never went to go, set out to do. It sits on all the most diverse ideas of the cure to cancer is probably in the graveyard but that one person just didn't feel like what their idea was good enough, so they never went to go tell anybody. They were too scared to fail, but in reality they failed because they didn't tell anybody. They didn't go try to achieve it. If you don't get anything out of this video, failure is good. Keep going, and don't let that be the end of your story. Because you learn after each failure. You're constantly improving. As time goes on, you will fail less. Now let's talk about how failure leads to success, if you haven't got that already. The most famous inventor of all time may appear to be the biggest failure. Like I talked about earlier, according to Thomas Edison's famous quote that states, "I have not failed, I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." In my book that I wrote, I changed the word failure, or I changed the word obstacle, I think, or challenge to something I overcame, something I'm about to overcome. I don't know if that was quite the word I used. It's been a long time since these cars are just going to kill me. I just don't understand why they have to pass right now. But anyways, failure very quickly tells you if you're headed in the right direction and if you need to make some adjustments. Failure is good. It's not failing. I don't like the word failure. I like the word failing because it's something I can improve on. We all wake up and turn on the light bulb. So therefore, Thomas Edison's failure led him to success. As a student, Edison had average grades. And according to his life in universe, he states that Edison failed his entrance exam into Polytechnic. Now, the world knows him as one of the most brilliant scientific minds. A lot of people know that Michael Jordan failed because he made the 1,000 or over 300. What's that one quote, bro? I forgot, but a lot of people know that Michael Jordan didn't make it to the varsity team, or maybe they don't. Maybe that's just knowledge I know because, I'm an expert on Michael Jordan. Just saying. Just joking. Haha, very funny. But as a student, Michael Jordan, like I said, was cut from his high school varsity basketball team. Now Michael Jordan is one of the most famous athletes in the world, and I don't want to hear it. He was the foundation of who made LeBron who he is today. I'm not saying LeBron ain't the GOAT of the now, but he ain't the GOAT of all time. And if y'all want to sit there and argue with me about that, then we can. We could go. I don't care. But head to head. He was the foundation. You feel me? Everybody wanted to be Michael. Everybody wanted to be Jordan. Michael Jordan. Okay, sorry. Oh, this is the quote that I wanted to tell y'all. Okay, sorry. I put it in the book. According to Forbes quotes, Michael Jordan was quoted, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times have I been trusted to take the game-winning shot and I missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." Now let me wrap this up. Failure is an advantage that we should embrace, not erase. Today I had talked about the 3 advantages of failure. Failure creates growth. It leads you to see different points in your life and challenges you to learn from them. Failure motivates. It shows you that you can do more than what you thought was possible. Failure leads to success. Failure very quickly tells you if you're headed in the right direction and if you need to make some adjustments. And failure is something that we should normalize, because I know a lot of times in this generation we see a lot of people succeeding, and I'm going to repeat this till the day I die, because we're in our 20s, we're trying to figure out who we want to be, and sometimes it can get frustrating when you don't know right away. But I'm just telling you to stay on this journey a little bit longer. I promise you, you're going to see something out of it. I have to keep telling myself that, because I'm just like, why? I can't put myself through another. Why am I not getting any views? Why isn't this working? All this homework is gonna, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can do anything I put my mind to. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be a motivational speaker. I am going to graduate with a bachelor's of arts in communications. I am going to have a successful podcast. I am going to get more followers on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, and subscribers on YouTube. These are all things that I am going to do. But I can't do them if I don't continue, grinding every single day. Because, I don't know, I don't want to live with regrets. Something I just can't do. I'd rather fail 1,000 times than live with the regret of not seeing or not knowing what could have happened if I just kept going, But there you have it. The 3 reasons why failure will benefit you. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. This show or this podcast really wouldn't be the podcast that it is without all of you spilling tears. I don't like that name. If you are a fan of this podcast, please share this podcast with your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your auntie, your sister, your brother, your friends, your professors, anybody, because it means the world to me. But until the next episode, until we have to spill into the next episode, remember to embrace failure and not erase it. And always to put yourself first, because I just love that line. Okay, thank you guys so much for listening. I love you guys so much, and bye.